side of the full year. Well, got a lot more to go, but
we're on the first hole of the bag 9.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is number 27,
Correct.
and we have more people that are subscribing to our podcast, and people are liking it, and people are commenting. So we really appreciate that. Yeah. And it looks like we've got some sort of...
We've got a candle here.
Oh, beautiful.
It
smells good.
Cozy Comfort.
People should get the scratch and sniff.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember when that first came out, scratch and sniff? Do you remember those?
I vaguely do remember them, but I don't...
Like in magazines and stuff, there would be this little thing. And
they'd also have the...
be able to scratch and sniff to see what flavor or something like that was.
They also had like certain perfumes or colognes that you could pull off and it would smell just like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that... I don't think you had to scratch it, but...
No.
Anyway...
So, people are watching this and listening. They can't smell it, but it does smell good.
What's it called again? Just like Cozy Comfort.
Cozy Comfort. Yeah.
Which is great because we're getting into the fall time. And
Yep.
Anyway, all that aside, we've got our 27th episode, as we've said probably 3 or 4 times now. And we had Jameson here on the couch, local
Jameson
interview.
Duhr. Yep.
So we'll have that, and then we'll have Drew and Joe. And speaking of, we got a new microphone. You'll see that. 5 microphones. So Joe's going to be in his little area over here, and hopefully we're going to have a computer there, and he'll be able to type away. Mm-hmm. So that'll be part of
resource guy.
Wisconsin Heights Weekly he'll come up with, and John will do the Site-Wise.
Mini Site-Wise, yep.
And then also we will have Drew.
A fun time,
The fun time, baby. So why don't what we do is get right into the fun time.
Hey, this is Bill DeWeese, pro voiceover talent and voiceover career coach. And this is the original Father-Son Voiceover Podcast.
Is your record on? Can you look at his recording on?
Yep, he's got the red light on.
And look at there. Look at there.
Yeah.
It's going down. See that?
Go ahead, Dad.
The clock can do almost everything.
I can't see it. John?
Well worth it.
Can you see Joe?
Oh, yeah. Joe's all over it.
This, hey, listen. This new microphone has fixed everything.
Yeah.
I can't see Drew's page anymore much.
That's the biggest.
I've got my own microphone, which makes me happy.
BJ's happy.
Yep.
Yes, BJ's happy because we're not so close here.
We can fact check ourselves.
We can fact check ourselves.
Okay.
We're no longer cavemen.
This is living.
So
can you move this for me?
So I had the idea.
Yes. Yeah. I'll grab it. Thank you.
So I had the idea of reverse sponsors. Everybody remember what that was? Reverse sponsors are simply, normally you get sponsors and they pay you money, but we're doing free advertising, so we're calling them reverse sponsors. So this episode of the original Father-Son Voiceover Podcast is reverse sponsored by Ryan Van Riper and RVR Services. Give Ryan a call at 608-516-4699. Now, fall is a great time to power wash your house. Get your house spick and span clean before the cold winter months hit. Our local guest this week, Jameson Duhr, said that he had Ryan do his house, and he did a fantastic job. But RVR Services also offers top quality carpet and upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, and so much more. Again, call Ryan at RVR Services at 608-516-4699 or visit his website at rvr-services.com. Prompt, professional service at an honest price. RVR Service, a proud reverse sponsor of the original Father-Son Voiceover Podcast. Well, what do you think? We'll have one of those every week.
There you go.
Who's up next? You tell me. We have Katie Blair Shear at Second Chapter Resale. We've got Handlebar Performance, Willie's Repair, all those people. 1855 Coffee House.
Caffey.
Yeah, we'll just have to have people just say, who do you want a reverse sponsorship from? Mm-hmm. Boom, that's
Thanks
my
for the
little-
reverse sponsorship, Dad.
You said Willie's Repair,
This is Welcome to, and this is the original Father-Son voiceover podcast, and it is our 27th episode, and it has taken us 26, almost 27 episodes to get Joe his little area over there. Mm-hmm. He's our numbers guy or our research guy. Mm-hmm. So
fact
It's
checker.
going to be nothing about the information he's bringing to us, though.
yeah, so we're just
Preparing.
living with five mics right now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We're pretty.
what do
free
we want
right
to start
now.
out with? What do you guys want to start out with on this 27th episode? I mean, Dad already started out with the reverse. What do you want to do second, is what I should say.
Don't we usually do Wisconsin
Yeah,
Ice
we got
Weekly?
Wisconsin
I
Ice
have
Weekly.
Wisconsinites Weekly right here.
Let's do it. And you're
Well-
prepared.
This week, as we mentioned in the last podcast, is homecoming week. And with that, tonight, Friday,
Which is last Friday now because this is Tuesday.
but it's Friday. So homecoming tonight against Waniwalk Weston, 7 p.m. tonight. Be there.
Well, they're together.
Or B Square.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. I think they were together when Deshaun played, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the one that that Deshaun ran over that kid from Waniwalk Weston, and then he saw Deshaun at another event and said that
At
he
the All-Star game.
Broke his collarbone.
collarbone. We've run into
Now
Deshaun
we're
before
on,
too.
now we're on the same team. What else is there, Joe?
Along with that, the soccer team is now 2-6-3. Their next game is October 4th at home against Lake Mills.
That'll be a
And-
tough game.
The L Cats.
Mm-hmm. And then the volleyball team is 3-8, and they play on October 4th as well at home. So there'll be two games going on: the soccer game and the volleyball game.
They're going on simultaneously.
I
Or
don't know that for sure.
volleyball games usually afterwards.
I don't know
for
if it's
sure.
later.
Yeah.
Maybe, or do the soccer team play under the lights if it gets dark?
I know they play under the lights
Oh,
sometimes.
they do.
The soccer team does. Yep, we
Did you ever do that when
Yep.
you played? Really? Where was I?
We played against Poinette when it was raining one time.
Under the
But
lights.
was that during the night, or was it just dark out because of the clouds?
No, it was dark.
Okay.
And that game is against Belleville.
Mm.
And
Double
lastly,
Wildcats.
as we speak,
a big
there
game.
is a grand opening / tour of the new building. And
We're not
people,
there.
I think, are wearing these shirts, which I got
What does it
the other
say?
day.
What does it say?
Reaching
take a
new
picture of
heights.
Nobody can see it.
No, we'll take a
You're
picture
sitting
of
down.
it. We'll take a picture of it and show it while he's talking about it.
Okay.
Okay, Demond?
Which is 2022, 2023, which is kind of the Jordan year.
One campus.
Yep.
I saw a plaque on what's happening in Mazo.
Was it a
for
plaque
that.
or a placard?
No, it was a plaque, and it had the board members and the administration, and that was it. I think on there, commemorating their leadership in getting that facility all put together, and tonight, Friday night, which is Tuesday, we were doing this we're getting this out on Tuesday, so it's last Friday night.
Yeah.
They had their big grand opening under one roof. Have you been? I've been by the building multiple times and looked in, but I've never been inside. Have you? Any of you guys?
I've
You
been-
have.
Yeah,
I have not.
several times.
I've been past it to play flag football, but I haven't looked in.
I have a friend on Facebook that I went to high school with. Her name is Kelly. Her maiden name was Kelly Geringer. It's Kelly Geringer Kroon.
Yep.
And she's a speech therapist teacher. Sorry, Kelly. Something like that. Anyway, neat story. We got carpet put down in our downstairs living room this last week. And who put the carpet in? Kelly's younger brother, Dave Geringer. He came up to me and he said,
Small
"Hey,
world.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, I should know you. You're Todd Barstas." I said, "Yep, I am." He said, "You were a year younger than me in high school." I said, "No." Well, I said, "What year did you graduate?" And he said, 1988. And I said, "No, I think that was the other Todd Barstas. There's two Todd Barstas. One from Black Earth. Todd V, as in Victor Barstas, and I'm Todd A, as in Anthony Barstas."
Cal's not going to be happy with you drinking on the podcast, Joe.
Can't hear me.
Anyway, Kelly she showed her room off in the special new building.
Nice.
She's very proud of it, and it's very nice. I saw pictures of it.
Yeah, she's kind of she and the other people in that
Category?
category field are in their own kind of area, wing.
Oh, wow.
Are the rooms like, so you were over in Black Earth mainly.
Yep.
And I'm not familiar so much with the old Black Earth elementary school, but is it really a lot nicer in there?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice compared to Mesa or Black Earth, the old elementary. What else? What other
Might
things?
have to go back through or elementary school again. You do a refresher course.
Yeah, it won't hurt me to do another round.
That's what I'm saying is.
So what do you think, Joe? You have any other tidbits about what you saw at the new facility since we're on that?
Oh, they got the basketball hoops were put in this week.
Oh,
for the playground
outside.
Oh, outside.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Which that's
Very
pretty nice
nice
too. And they got a huge jungle gym area. Is that what you call that?
Yeah.
Jungle gym area, play place for the kids. How many baskets are there? 6?
4?
I think there's 6.
Okay.
6 or 8.
Oh,
One of those two.
okay. Nice. Yeah.
Nice. That is
Yeah,
nice.
but that was big. That was big news because there was just a lot of. I mean, they got spray painted the other day for the lines and different things.
The court, not the hoops.
Yeah. And
Do they have a band room out there in the elementary school, or do
They have a music room.
They do. Okay.
But not not a new auditorium because that
Right.
was.
Yep. Yeah.
Shot down.
Mm-hmm.
That's
All
the
right.
questions I got.
Is that
That is
all
the
we've got for Wisconsin Heights?
that concludes Wisconsin Heights.
Joe's a
Weekly.
walking Wisconsin Heights
Vanguard.
vanguard.
Yeah.
He's got a Heights hat. He's got a Heights shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
Not
a Heights
shorts.
teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
All right. Meandering on over to what we saw site-wise.
You mean sight-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, let me say,
What did we see? What do you got, Johnny?
Well, a few small things we saw. So that on the corner of Jane and Ann Street, there's a pink house that I was thinking about as I drove past. I think it's the first time that I can remember, and I've lived here almost my whole life, it actually looking like they're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like maybe it's either occupied because there's signs up because it's getting close to the political season here or the voting time in November. And so there's some signs up. So I don't know for sure if somebody's moved in yet, but it's definitely getting worked on. And I think that's the first time that I can remember it
Not being
not
vacant.
being vacant and kind of a scary old house. So
If you have
I
any
noticed that.
questions about that house,
Yeah.
you just walk next door. Robbie Whipperforth will tell you.
Yep.
That was the D'Arienzo
Because he
house.
told me a few things. So
Okay.
for anybody that's
Robbie's
interested,
going to have, sorry, Robbie, you're going to have tons
You
of
won't
people
say it because it'd
coming
be
to your front
secondhand.
door.
that's
Yeah.
true.
So it's not site-wise.
No.
But Robbie could say it more site-wise.
Yeah, it's more hearsay from you.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that was the D'Arienzo house. Perry was in my class, and he lived there. It's strange walking by the elementary school. I have to admit, it's strange. Mom and I always have walked past there for many years on our morning walk, and in the summer, it's quiet. Maybe just one car out there, Dale Green. Maybe out there, the former principal there. But now there's nothing going on, and it's like it's summer, but you know it's not, and it's weird.
School season.
And there's no little voices and no people and different things like that.
You know, the clock is really nice. Got us on. We've done this, and so you can't see my paper. But one thing hasn't changed. You just took over site-wise.
No, it's fine. I wanted to, we had to
Well,
hear the
Drew-
story a little
Drew,
bit about
that
who.
still
but
has
Drew,
happened.
That was the last
Some
time
of us
it's
don't
been
walk
occupied.
around like we don't with our eyes closed through Mazo. So we do have something to offer.
So
Dad-
you're suggesting I walk around
I'm
Mesa with my
suggesting
eyes
you
closed?
said Dad took over, but Dad's around Mazo and his
Okay.
eyes are open.
He's a
He'd
citizen.
have to, if
Oh,
he didn't
okay.
want to use anything, he didn't want to talk about it. He'd have to have his eyes closed so he couldn't take over.
Perfect.
And then
Were you going to
Just-
finish your thought?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Drew kind of cut you off there.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Something about the school.
Well, it's ghostly.
Yep.
Just thinking about that. Well, there a bus stops there in the morning to pick up B.J. Rulin's nephew and niece. They live just down the street.
Troy's kids.
Yep.
Yep.
And they walk down with their little beagle or something every morning and are picked up at the bus stop there. And there's another little girl, nice little girl there that Mom and I talk to basically every morning. And so anyway, yeah. But soon I think the church is taking it over, so there'll probably be cars out there from time to time and
Yeah.
stuff. That's all
That's all you saw?
that's all the reminiscing I was going to do.
Well, just down the road on Ann Street, Mr. Jim Marks,
Yeah.
and this is just for somebody that's basically incapable of doing anything handy. It's just amazing that he picked up a house, basically, not him physically.
picked
That
it
you
would've
know what I
been
mean?
amazing.
Wow.
That would have
Yeah.
been something.
Yeah, he probably is
Talk
strong.
about
handy.
using his hands.
Yeah, he probably is strong. But anyway, moved the house to there and is putting, putting a house there at that spot, that open spot, and putting it all together inside and out. So that's
That house, you
been
remember where that
working
house
on,
came
yeah.
from? It was a flood house.
okay.
And it was right next to, it's on the way out, just before you get to Mathewson Road on Hudson, going to the east. And it was, as you're going that way, it's on the left-hand side. And it's just past Jimmy Olson's house.
Okay.
People that would know who that is. And they moved that. And that's going to be Gary and Averill Sutcliffe's
Oh,
house.
okay.
Nice.
Which is Jimmy's
Mother and
in-laws.
father-in-law, yeah.
Yep, and listen, that's not hearsay. Jimmy told me that.
Wow.
Told Mom and I that on one of our walks.
Wow.
See, that's why walking around, keeping your ears open, your eyes open,
Yep.
you get a lot of good, a lot of
Nuggets.
stuff. Yep,
Now,
nuggets of truth and information.
There's two other things. Now, this is downtown, but so where the mask place was, downtown Mazo,
Mask
Which
place, which is
was
right next to the Rumpus place.
Yep, which
So,
was the
right
former
across the street.
barber shop.
Yep. Now
Les
that
Mahaney.
that's getting all cleaned up and inside, and I don't know what they're putting in there. So maybe somebody can help us out if you don't know what's going in there.
I don't,
Okay.
but
He has an
I was
idea.
running
Okay.
because Mix It Up Fitness.
Yep.
I'm running.
Just the gossip.
and I'm straight ahead, but off to the left there was a man and a woman,
Okay.
and they were, I think a realtor was taking them through this several months ago.
Sure.
And they were looking, they opened the door, they were looking around and stuff, and now I've seen people working in there. And I heard through the grapevine, and this is a little bit hearsay, that they had purchased the place and were going to put something in there. Now,
Okay.
I don't know what that is. That's as much as
Okay.
I've got on that.
But then just down the way by the flagpole, there's something going in, and you can tell us a little bit about
That's
that.
across from the 1855
Yep.
coffee house, directly. And Scott Johannick
Yep.
got
been- yep.
he's working with them or got
Their friends or something. He's helping
and
them.
it's going to be the tap house,
Nice.
which will be like wine and beer tasting, but they'll also have some food and things like that. And that they said that in what's happening in Mazo that's opening soon, a grand opening sometime. Look that up.
Look at that up.
Facebook, Joe.
Facebook.
He'll
What's
let us
happening in
know.
Mazo?
What's the
and
next-
when is the grand opening of that?
What's the next? What was your
It's your
next
first
thing?
Last thing.
assignment,
The
Joe.
last thing, yeah.
Don't blow
Because I
it.
have one more thing.
Last thing is it's very personal to us in that just today, so Friday, we had I think they call it a fir tree or a pine tree was cut down at our place.
Wow.
So
And Tim Andrews
just on the corner
did that
of
right?
Lake
Or
Chapel.
what's the name of the
Tim
Tim Andrews?
Tim Andrews,
Horticulturist,
his
And
company
his
did that.
son is
So
one of them is
one of his bud that I went to school with,
Right.
graduated in 05, and then Bo was what, 2 years younger than me?
Year older than me.
So 07.
was he there? Did Bo?
Bo was not there, but there was.
He did the estimate though,
Yep,
didn't he?
yep. But then there was a couple other guys, I believe, at least one that was a Heights grad, or at least went to Heights.
But somebody suggested that we could get Bo on the podcast.
I think we probably
He's
could.
a local business owner.
Yep.
That's his dad, right? Tim Andrews?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And we could have Tim or Bo or
Yeah.
both.
Yep.
You know him.
Or Bo.
Not that well.
Well, Tim would so we'd go on field trips and like Tim would come sometime on field trips. Nice guy.
Chaperone.
Yep. And then so but like I said, Bud was in my class.
Hi, chaperone.
Yeah.
Hi, chaperone. Nice.
Did you get it,
So
Joe?
that's
I'm looking for it.
Oh, okay.
anyway, that's the
I've
last
got-
of
I've
that's
got
the
one.
last of what I got of
This
of
one's
my
very
part.
personal to us,
Okay.
and I took a video of the day that it happened. So Monday, Demond, the editor-in-chief of this podcast, made a very adult purchase. He
Oh, that's right.
he bought a car.
Mm-hmm.
He bought a red mahogany maroon colored.
I don't think
That's
mahogany.
Mahogany's a type
Maroon,
of
you were
wood.
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll stick with that
Stick
one.
with
Try to
that.
get colors.
I was trying to get
really. Yeah,
burgundy.
I would just
Burgundy. There you go. Thanks.
Mahogany.
Appreciate it.
There. Yep.
Vehicle. It's a Chevy Malibu. And
Well, if it was a woody whacker,
Demond,
you might be
roll,
able to
roll the
say
tape.
mahogany.
Roll the tape
Roll the tape.
of me videotaping you. So some pretty big news here for the original father-son voiceover podcast. Demond is making his first big purchase, and he is driving down the road. Brand new car. Ooh-wee. Oh, he's giving us a wave. Wow, look at this guy, new car owner. Oh, it turns off when you stop? Yeah. Interesting. There you have it. Demond's new car. It's a Malibu. Chevy Malibu. Very nice. Very nice. And so that's exciting. He got 4 new skins, which are tires. If you're some of us who are
Hip to the
hip
jive.
to
in the car game,
automotive
yeah.
game, we call them skins, not tires. So
Yeah. So if you ever hear us talk
Yeah.
about tires, just from now on, if you ever hear us talk about tires,
we're
and call
such
it
car
skins,
people here. So
That's what we're
DJ knows
talking
that. So anyway, I wanted to bring that to our attention, and he got tires on it today, right? He's got new tires.
Yeah. Yep. And speaking
Wow.
of BJ told me that William
Oh,
is probably going to be coming home in the next couple 3 weeks.
Really?
Oh.
And so I said, hey, this is a selfish request,
Yes.
but maybe he could stop by and we could just chit chat
Well, William
about how
talked
things
about-
are going.
Said
He did.
the
He
first thing
said
off
it.
the plane was going to be on the podcast.
Yep. So William,
Wow.
you know, come
Hold
and
you to
visit
that.
us.
Hold you to
Yeah,
it.
There you go.
Anything, Joe, from you?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
Iron Hop Tap House is the grand opening is October 7th, which is a day after Drew's birthday.
That's why they did it. They didn't want to.
Yep. They
Coincide
knew that
with
so many people would be at Drew's birthday.
Party.
They
Yeah.
wouldn't
Block
get
party.
that many people at the
and they would
grand.
want the party. They're
Okay.
going to continue the party.
The spill over from
Yeah.
the
I should
6th
have-
to the
I
7th.
should
Drew
have
said his
offered
party is
that I have
from
it there.
6 until whenever. That's what he's put on his
Question mark.
question mark.
Yeah. No, it will not be a question mark. It's a work night, and so I will
Be working on
be
your birthday.
fighting the desire to sleep at 9 o'clock. And
Yeah.
starting to become an old
Big
man.
partier, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. And what's the
That's
does
at
it-
4 p.m.
Oh,
Oh,
No,
4 p.m.
okay.
Eastern or Central?
Definitely Central.
Thanks. Being facetious.
We should just let that joke just hang out.
I
There
guess
wasn't
hang.
much of a.
Just
It
let
was
it hang.
just seeing if Joe would pick
Anything
up
else
that.
on that? Any interesting tidbits about that? That's it.
That's
Iron
it.
Hop.
Hey, thanks
Iron
a lot.
Hop
That's
Tap House.
that's
That's what
John's
we're there
first
for,
thing. He
Joe.
didn't
4
fail
p.m.
us. He
Yeah.
came
Be
through.
there.
Thank
That's
you,
what
Joe.
he's there for.
Anything else for
That
site
includes
wise?
site-wise. If anybody knows the inside scoop about what specifically is going into where the old barber shop was,
Oh.
feel free to comment.
Please comment.
Or if you see me around, let me know.
yeah.
Last after this last podcast, Judy Curtis, who we saw down at the 1855 Coffee House a couple weeks ago, she said for our taste test, how about different kinds of mustard?
No.
You know, you got your dill, you got your
Yep.
garlic,
Dijon.
you got your Dijon,
Dijon.
and just your regular normal. And there's you know like
There's Grey Poupon.
Great Poupon. There's probably there's horseradish,
Yeah.
mustard, But they're, like at the Mustard Museum that used to be up in Mount Horeb, but now it's somewhere else. Middleton.
Yeah.
You probably go there and get a bunch of different types of mustard.
We
So thank you,
absolutely
Judy.
could.
Yep.
Thank you, Judy, for that.
Good
Thank
suggestion.
you
Yep.
Anybody else who has suggestions about that, please.
Not about the mustard thing. It's specific. That's
No,
that's
just
a
about the
suggestion
taste
on itself.
testing. Yep.
Taste testing.
Yep.
I just want to be clear
I appreciate you.
because we're taking Judy's and we're not going to take anybody else's about
Yeah.
Mustard.
specifically
That's
the
hers.
mustard.
We're giving her credit, sole
That's true.
credit for that.
Yep.
Another person who watches our podcast religiously, Sally Morrill, and she lives in Florida, doesn't she?
I think so.
I think so.
I hope she's
So,
doing well.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do too, because she comments almost every week. And she said, "How about different kinds of ice cream?" And I thought that was a good. You could either have like totally different kinds of ice cream, or there are
All the
Brand.
same
or
flavor
you could just have
of different
vanilla and
brands.
just different, different brands of ice cream. That would be tough, I would think.
Yep.
So Sally, thank you for that. Let us know, if you're okay,
Yeah.
obviously, and if things
I
are
also-
going all right, and if what happened to Hurricane
Ian.
Yeah.
So I also didn't run into. I saw Peyton Flammy, and he was listening to our podcast, our taste test podcast that we just did last
When you
week.
ran into him?
I
he,
ran.
he was?
We're okay. Yeah.
no,
both-
but
both sides
you were,
were
he was
okay.
listening while you were...
I ran into him while he was listening to
Wow.
it. Yeah. No,
What a
he had got home
coincidence.
from work. His grandparents lived just down the road from us, and
They're our
he-
next door neighbors.
Across the street.
Yep. And he just said that he's been thinking about what we could do for taste tests. So he's trying to think about it, and he likes the idea. He started to watch it more. So thank you, Peyton,
Yep.
when you watch this.
Don't strain yourself though, Peyton. Don't think too hard.
So yeah,
And I would think we would have a lot of new viewers. So welcome to you, because Jameson Duhr is on this week. He's our
Yeah.
interview,
Yeah.
and
Thank you for saying that.
he's got a lot of relatives in the area. We talked about that on the podcast. He's a firefighter. He's a Heights guy, and that's going to be coming up.
that will be
segue. Silky
Yeah,
segue.
look at Dad. Hudson, why don't you run things and then
No. What I was doing, it's a
I
layup.
know,
It's a setup for
Setup.
you. Yep.
Well, with Dad saying that, we will get right to our
What is
Jameson.
it? We know.
Is it states?
It's just a state.
No, but we first have to get to
Oh.
Jameson Duhr. But after
Oh, yeah,
Jameson
yeah,
Duhr,
yeah.
after that interview, Drew, what do we got?
Delaware.
Oh,
we're into the
nice.
D's. Hey, and back by popular demand. I don't want to go on here because I was going to leave you time.
But you will.
But Bob Wick stopped by because he's Tim's dad.
Yeah.
Tim was
Tim
on
Wick's
last
dad, yeah.
week, and
He gave us an oral history
and he set the records
Of Wick.
of
He
Wick.
set the
yes.
record straight right out by your house.
Okay.
By
On-
what was the pine tree?
Yeah.
By what was the pine tree on the
Now
side
it's
of the
down.
house. We were
Nothing
standing
there.
underneath the pine tree, no
Full
longer
circle.
there.
Yeah.
And he set the record straight. But as he was driving off, he said that like his sister Jane and Margaret and Jeff, his brother, and Johnny too, and his dad, they're going to probably set him straight.
Okay.
But anyway, he said he really liked the Connecticut thing.
Yeah.
And so
States.
back
The
back
states.
by popular demand after Jameson Duhr.
So Bob, we heard
So are you
that,
saying
and
that
we're a podcast
The
for the
state
people,
Connecticut connected Bob to our podcast?
Nope, he just liked learning about Connecticut.
That's a bad joke.
Yeah, but Joe was
That's a
doing a
Joe
dumb
joke.
joke.
I think that's
we
what
need better
happened.
from you.
Okay,
I'm not expecting better, but we need better.
So there you go.
Bob. All right, let's.
That might be the
let's,
best you're getting.
Let's stop here while we're ahead.
Okay.
I'm sure we're really far behind.
Yeah.
So
or not. There's 5 minutes left.
I know
He's
it's
not gonna be able to get it in 5. But Delaware's a small state, but it's
No,
got
it's
a
not
lot
that
of
small.
lot of character, a lot of stuff.
Well,
to
we
it.
will be right back. And when we come back, it'll be our interview with Jameson. And after that, we will be doing our Delaware fun facts and all sorts of other things.
just learning.
Learning.
That's what we do here. So join us for that next.
We're just talking about restaurant
But we can talk about restaurant and
So we've been talking about how we haven't been seeing you down at the gym much. You must have changed your
Yeah.
time.
Well, Wesley changed my time.
Wesley changed your time.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna bring this right over
To
here.
be honest, I don't have a lot of energy left to go to the gym after running around with him. You know.
Yeah.
help me with this,
So
would you? I
What'd
messed
you
it
do?
up. I
What'd
messed
you
it
do?
up.
that's
I bought this clock so we'd stay on time.
Oh, nice.
Well, and now what do I do? Start?
um
Yes.
yeah. There you go.
How much time do I got to talk? Jeez, I think those guys.
We do half-hour segments, but if you go an hour and a half, 2 hours, hey, listen.
Oh boy.
If it's interesting stuff, I'll just listen to his,
Yeah, go ahead.
and we'll just go ahead and talk.
Hey, how's it going?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna put it just a little bit.
He's
Just-
on the,
Oh, maybe I don't even have it on the right one.
no, I just didn't. So we've been experimenting with 5 mics now because 3 people on the couch is kind of a lot. We've got one there
Oh,
that
sure.
we've been experimenting with. So Dad usually sits in the middle, and we push the mics kind of toward him.
Yeah, there's
so
all
that
kinds
they
of
can-
mics going on.
We do have a
Yeah.
bunch of microphones, yes. So how does he sound there, Dad?
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
Yep,
There
perfect.
it is.
Nice.
All right.
So I was.
Oh,
So
that's
you're talking about Dick, your grandpa.
Yeah.
And I've gone, I don't know if you've watched many of these, but I've gone on record saying that I want Dick Royston on the podcast.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if he'll do it.
Well, yeah.
Because like he was the mayor of Mazo for a long time.
14 years.
Yeah, 14 years.
Yeah.
That's wild. I didn't even know that was a thing when I.
And so I
You would
wanted,
need a 3-hour session for him.
well,
I
that's
think.
okay. Yeah. And then we would, and then you've got some other, you've got a whole bunch of relatives
All of them.
that I was,
Yeah, all of them
All
are
of
in Mazo, yeah.
But I mean, you've
Can't
got a
get
whole,
away with anything.
you got a whole bunch of relatives that are interesting people. You might not think of them as interesting, but
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
a good
like
word for it. I
for
guess.
instance, you've got Jim Craney.
Yeah.
He is your great uncle.
Great uncle,
Great
yeah.
uncle. Jim and Sharon.
Jim and Sharon, yep.
Is that
So
who-
Sharon is my grandpa Dick's sister.
Yes,
Yep.
right.
Oh,
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. She was a Royston. And he has a story. I remember years ago, probably maybe before you were born. No, maybe not. He went to the national. Was he in the reserves?
Reserves, yep.
And he was just about going to be done. And then
Right, and then
the Iraqi
Gulf War.
Yeah. So I'd like to hear that if I could ever see if I could get somebody to put a bug in his ear.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
See, that's
He
one
loves
of
talking about that, yeah.
that's going to be your job. We're going. You know what we've done is we've gotten this prize table over here. I don't know if you
nice.
know that. All of our guests get something to take home with them. But what I was hoping to do was maybe bribe you. I give you more than one gift if you would be a person that would, tell Dick
Yeah.
that we'd like to have him on.
I could get all kinds of people for you. Yeah.
But there's Dick and there's Jim and Sharon. There's Roundy.
Yep.
Dave.
Yep.
Just a Game Fieldhouse?
Just a Game
Just a
Fieldhouse,
Game,
and his wife Joy, who I went to high school with.
She was in your class?
She was in my class, and he was a few years older, but, I think he ended up being my baseball coach. I played some home talent with him.
Sure,
And
yeah.
of course, he's had quite a run as far as good businesses and stuff.
Yeah, and that all started right here in Mazo where, I don't know if that was the original spot, but where the bar is now RJ's.
Yeah, RJ's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the original Sports Impressions. We used to run around that place, yeah.
And Walt Peterson.
Yeah.
He's been he was a firefighter local firefighter, right?
Yeah, well, he was the chief here for forever.
Those are all your
basically.
relatives.
Yeah.
And they're like 3 months
They're
worth
making-
of
they're
podcast.
making
Oh,
Mazo
yeah.
run.
Exactly. Exactly.
Making the town
whatever
run.
you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was fire chief for, I think he just turned 70.
Yeah.
He's probably been there for 40 years.
Is he's done though? No.
So he gave up the chief position. Now he's
Oh.
a firefighter. Yeah. Yeah.
But to me, those are amazing. That's just. And here's the thing about, like you were mentioning it before we started, that there's just a lot of interesting people locally. Everybody's got a story.
Right.
Some are very, very interesting. Like here you're a firefighter in Madison,
City of Madison. Yep.
city of Madison.
Yep.
And right next door in little town of Mazomanie, we've got Camden Parman, where's he? Fitchburg?
I think
or
he just
Burrell?
got hired full time in Fitchburg.
Fitchburg.
Yeah.
Two big city firefighters
Right.
in little Mazomanie.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think that's kind of neat.
You guys obviously got your start at Mazo, right?
Yep. Yeah,
So,
we both did.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
We missed each other. I don't think we ever worked with each other in Mazo. I don't know how old is Cam.
He's
20.
2 years younger than me, and I think you're 4 years older than me.
I'm 30. So
I'm 26. So yeah,
so
and
he's 24. Yeah. So we
24-ish.
would have missed each other down there. But yeah. Yeah. Well, we started here.
Yeah, and so then there's all these connecting points, not only your relatives, but then there's the firefighting thing with, what is Walt? Is he your great uncle as well?
Great uncle. Yep.
By
So
marriage?
again, his wife would be Grandpa Dick's sister.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And so he was a firefighter. I'd like to talk with him just simply because of all the, there's probably so many things similar, but there's probably a lot of differences, not only in when he started doing firefighting, but volunteer as opposed to, full-time like
Sure.
you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Big differences.
Yeah, a lot of similarities, but a lot of big differences. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Yeah, so we have Jameson Duhr here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. We kind of like to do that, like to warm things up a little bit so you don't feel nervous. Not that everybody would feel nervous.
Yeah, I'm not
but,
nervous.
But some
I
people
supposed to be
come on
nervous?
and we've had, no.
He goes into burning buildings.
Yeah.
He's not nervous about sitting down with
Yeah.
a couple of guys.
Well, at least not you two.
Yeah.
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 Depends on who it is.
But thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk, obviously, get to your firefighting stuff, but and we've already talked about all your relatives, and that was
He's tired of talking about his
Yeah,
relatives.
it wasn't a setup.
Can't get away from
It
him.
wasn't a setup, but I did as I was running on the treadmill down at Mix It Up just about a half an hour ago, and I was thinking, okay, I've talked about having Dick on, but he's got a whole bunch of other relatives that have interesting stories. I'd like to see if Jameson will go to bat for me for the podcast.
I'll go to bat for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, thanks. So Jameson, is that a family name, or is that just something your folks dreamt up?
It's something my mom dreamt of. She remember the show ER. That was like
yeah.
the OG to like Grey's Anatomy. And,
Yeah.
all this. So ER was the original show, and she said one of the patients had a baby, and they named it Jameson. So
Wow.
You were kind of destined to be a
Destined to be Jameson.
lifesaver type.
yeah. Everyone always asks if I'm Irish or if my parents drink a lot of
Oh,
whiskey.
yeah.
Neither of which is true, really. Yeah. This came from a TV show. At least that's what I'm told. So
Yeah.
let's go with that.
And you said you're 30,
Yeah.
and so you did you go to Mazo Elementary, then the junior high, and graduated from Heights? What
Yeah.
year?
So the original, so K to 5 in the Mazo Elementary School, and then went on to the middle school, high school for the rest of it.
And tell us a little bit tell us about your biological family, growing up family, and then now you've got your own little family. Just give us a little bit of.
Yeah, so I grew up right across from Lake Marion out there, which was, great. My parents so that was the second house that I lived in. My dad built that house in 91, 92, or 92, 93, and I was born in 92. So we moved out there when I was barely a year old. So grew up across from the lake, fishing and everything like that. My dad worked for the phone company. He worked for the same company for 30 years, 35 years. She just recently retired. And then my mom she just recently retired too from the University Hospital in Madison.
Wow.
But she also has taught the aerobics class here across from the gym in the community building she still teaches that. I think she started when she was like 20. So she's been doing that for a long time. And then my sister, she's 4 years younger than me. And
She's in my class.
Caitlin's in your class?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so she went to UW Madison, got her bachelor's degree, and she's actually got her master's degree now. And then she married Nick Ginthy, who
He's
was
2 years older than us.
2 years older than you, 2 years younger than me. Yeah, and he graduated med school, and he's a resident now, doctor at UW. So
Nick was always a smart guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
not as smart as me, but
Well, you got to get that on the tape.
Sorry.
I don't care what he thinks. All right?
Yeah.
I'm still stronger and faster, at least. So
There you go.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can have the books. I don't care.
Yeah. The young, your folks are young retirees.
Very.
They're pretty young.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I won't.
My
we won't
dad
give their
went when
age.
he was, he worked, like I said, the same company for over 30 years, from 19 to 53, 54, something like that. So he did his time. But yeah, it is young to retire, but he did well for himself.
Yeah.
And, my mom, she had planned to retire, but I think when Wesley, my kid, came around, that was the axe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now it is time to retire.
Time to
so.
be a grandma, huh?
Yeah.
And are they traveling? Are they just hanging around so they can watch?
So
Wesley
my dad
grow up, or-
went from working on for the phone company, doing phone lines and stuff like that, to now he's doing hard labor as a hobby, building homes and pouring concrete. And why, I don't know. I just think maybe he felt cooped up for the past 35 years. So, but he's doing what he truly loves now, which is building things.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So traveling, yeah, actually they're leaving for Hawaii this week, I think. I have their dogs. Should probably actually look.
Yeah. Make sure they
Well,
get to
I'm
the
supposed to have them
bathroom.
right now. I don't know. Because I don't.
Yeah. So then you have a son named Wesley,
Yep.
and your wife's name is
Vanessa.
And is she a Heights girl?
She's
too?
a high school. She last name was Clarkson. Grew up on
Oh, yeah.
Suncliffe Road.
Okay.
Then she's got one younger sister, one older sister.
And they went. One of them went to River Valley.
Yeah. So Kayla, the oldest one, graduated from Heights. Vanessa graduated from Heights, and then Sydney graduated from Valley.
Mm-hmm. I remember that because she, I think, was a year older than me. And yeah. Anyway,
Is this a true remembrance? So sometimes I'd be traveling home from Black Earth on KP, and I would go past Lake Marion, and I would see your dad shoveling. This is in the winter.
Yeah.
It's frozen.
Yeah.
And I'd see him shoveling, getting ready to do some ice hockey.
Snow blowing and shoveling, yeah.
And I thought I remember seeing a little kid out there. Were you out there ever
Yeah,
with
for
him?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something we did every winter.
Yeah.
We'd go out there, blow an ice hockey rink, and
Yeah.
skate around.
Yeah.
We were out there all the time.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah. He was out there quite a bit. This was his exercise, evidently.
Still is.
does he still
now.
do it? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, he does,
We'll go
yeah.
past now that there's been water. There was not water there for a long
It
time.
took like a 5-year hiatus, but yeah.
Yeah, and
I actually don't think it was that long, but it was long enough.
It was
a long time.
Yeah, I think my junior year was the last year we had water in it because I would
Yeah.
go fishing there. And then, 3-4 years ago they got water in it.
I don't remember exactly. I don't remember the timetable,
Yeah.
but it seemed like a long time that it was just a
mud
weed
pit.
pat.
Yeah.
Weed pat, yeah.
Yeah,
Patch.
had to mow the lake. But yeah, he still does that. It was, and like, it's great for the community, for the kids to go out there and skate around. So
Yeah. And do you get out there
I
much,
haven't.
or is it?
recently, but hopefully in these next couple of years, once, Wesley can start ice skating.
So you're a pretty good skater. I would better than average, just because you've done it.
I feel like if average is most people can't do it, then
Yeah,
I'm above
okay.
average. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know how.
Yeah,
I used to rollerblade.
Well, if you can
but-
rollerblade, you can ice skate.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I think.
I skate on either side of my ankles. They're either turned out or turned in.
Yeah.
I just was never good at it. I don't know if it was because I didn't have a good set of skates, probably because I'm not coordinated or something. But
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Because my dad still plays hockey.
Really?
like at soccer or something.
Men's league, yeah.
No checking?
What's that?
No checking? Or
No,
Does
it's
Jesse get
brutal.
into it?
It's 50, 60-year-old men doing stuff they shouldn't. Yeah. He used to come. I remember him coming home one night at midnight with a hole below his nose because he got hit in the head with a puck.
oh,
And he asked me if you thought it could just wait till morning. I was like, no, we better take you to the hospital. And I was like 15 and I remember driving him to Sauk Hospital.
yeah, your dad's a little bit of a different
Yeah.
breed.
Right,
I wasn't
yeah.
in high school with him, but I have friends that were, and have stories about
Darwin
your
has a
dad.
good story about him coming back to the huddle in a football game and he was like coughing and he spit out a tooth into his hand and just threw it on the ground.
Yeah.
Said, "You good?" "Yeah, I'm good."
built
Yeah.
different back then.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are good stories.
Well, they weren't all different back then, but he was different.
Yeah.
And he was part of that group.
Well, he was the
yeah.
youngest of 4, so he had to be
That
pretty
helps,
4
yeah.
boys, so
Yeah.
he had to be pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So did you then go to like a 4-year college, or did you go to a technical school? Did you go to MATC?
To
or-
MATC for
Okay.
2 years.
And was
yeah.
that actually for firefighting? They
Yeah,
have a-
fire protection technician is the name of the program, or it was. I think it's changed now, the name of it exactly. But yeah, it was an actual firefighting program.
And what is that? Does that actually prepare you to be a firefighter, a non-local, a full-time firefighter?
Yeah, that's what it's geared towards, is
Okay.
for people who want to do it as a career, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
And but I mean, do you have to then get other certifications, or do you have to go to more schooling, or is that basically it? And then you just have to put in your time and kind of work your way up the chain, if you will, and get hired by.
Yeah, there's that, but there's also, the training, it never ends. There's always classes you can take, because I've taken classes in Duluth at Lake Superior Technical Colleges, in Madison, Alabama, Socorro, New Mexico, Pueblo, Colorado. Been to all those places just to take like these, accessory courses or whatever that all, expand your knowledge base of what you're doing, but also, make your resume look a little bit better. But like the program at MATC, that's 2 years. So but it's just like a lot of things where about half of it or a little bit less of it is actually geared towards, firefighting. There's the actual fire academy where you're out there cutting up cars and putting out fires every day, exercising, that type of thing. Wow. There's other classes like building construction that you take, because it's good to know, how buildings are built, especially when they're on fire, because what's going to fail and what's not going to fail and things like that. Mm-hmm. Communication classes, technical reporting classes, because we do a lot of more paperwork than anyone thinks that we do. Yeah. So there's a lot more to it than what most people would think. But
did you know? When did you know you wanted to be a firefighter? Do you remember being a kid, or was it more you got in high school? What? Yeah. Well, and then the other question is did you do some local firefighting before you went to college? So whatever one you want to handle first.
Yeah. So actually, kind of I never had a real clear career path that I wanted to take until I was probably in my senior year of high school. So going back to my grandpa, Dick Royson, he spent 40 years with the Warden Service, the DNR.
He did.
And so that was, if anything was on my radar, it was probably that, either being a warden or a park ranger, something along those lines, something being outside and, playing with cool equipment. When I was 16, going into my junior year, it was my first year that I just decided not to play any sort of fall sport at Heights, and not really for any particular reason. I didn't want to really, just kind of burnt out and sick of the monotony and things like that. So I actually remember driving to my grandparents' house on State Street one night, and it was a Monday night when the Mesa Volunteers train, and all the trucks were outside, and I was like, oh, it looks kind of interesting, because every kid's like, being a firefighter was cool, but kind of like in that moment, I was like, well, if I'm not gonna play a sport, I got to find something to do, otherwise I'll be in trouble. So I talked to Pete,
Peterson, Walt Peterson.
Yeah. And he said, yeah, come on down, give it a shot. So I went down there for a training one night. And actually that night we just so happened to have, there used to be, I don't know if you remember this, where the greenhouse is now for the hardware store. There used to be a house there and it was condemned or something like that.
That's where the Parkers used to live.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It had to be, I don't know, I think it just got torn down and didn't get burnt down. But anyways, I went down there, got a set of gear and went to that house and climbed some ladders and pulled some hose, and I was kind of hooked at that point. So that's how I spent the next 2 years. And then probably when I was a senior, I was like, I could see myself doing this for a career. So
Camden, when he was younger, he would ride after the police cars. He'd hear the sirens, and he'd get on his bike and he would go.
He probably still does that.
Yeah, he might. He does. Now he just drives his truck.
Yeah.
But I just remember we knew.
Yeah,
it was not a surprise that he's doing that, because he would just go. He had like lights on his bike and stuff like that too. So he was into it. So
yeah, it's funny because going back to the Cam, when I played ball for his dad. And him and his brother, like the two little boys sitting on the bench, keeping the stat book or whatever. That was my first introduction to the Cam.
Yeah. So you're working for the city of Madison. How many years have you been employed by them?
Since 18, so this will be my 5th year.
2018.
January of 18. So
okay.
Yeah.
What did this just came to my mind? Did anything change? I mean, I know a lot changed with the pandemic, but did anything change with the firefighting? I mean, I'm talking about especially on scene. I mean, here you are, you're having to deal in a emergency, every second counts type thing. But I was just wondering if, is it like, who cares about masks at that point? Or is it like we have to do certain protocols? I really don't know. It's a real live question,
Yeah, that's a great question. The answer is everything changed almost in an instant in, March of 2020 or whatever. And it changed literally overnight. And we went with a plan that no one had ever, done before. We've never seen anything like this. No one's had it. There was no way for us to look back and be like, what did they do in 1970 when this happened? So everything was just you just went with it. So yeah, the calls changed drastically. Any patient that, came across as having any sort of COVID symptom, we would fully, put on I don't want to say Tyvek suits, but gowns, goggles, masks, face shields, everything like that, because no one knew, So like you said, seconds count, but at the same time, if we all get sick and go away, then who's going to protect everyone
point.
else? So,
Yeah.
you kind of, borrowed or sacrificed seconds to put your own stuff on type of thing. And then, it gradually got worse and then it kind of got better type of thing. So now what we're doing is more or less back to normal procedure, but we still wear masks on every EMS call.
Oh, EMS.
Fires we
okay.
don't. Yeah, and fires we never do they wear a mask. I mean, no one wants to, if you're standing outside or whatever, last thing you want to do is you have a mask on and try and breathe through that.
Yeah.
When it's hot and
Yeah,
sticky and stuff. I mean,
yeah.
if you had to, you would. But
Yeah.
but every medical call we go on, we still wear masks.
So you're a firefighter and a paramedic? Or
EMT.
EMT.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone on the department is at least at the EMT level. And then, so the firefighters, EMTs ride the engines and the ladders. And then the paramedics, which is, a much higher level of medical training, they're the ones that are on the ambulance.
Oh, okay.
What's like a normal week? I know there aren't really any normal weeks probably for you, but what would be did you work last night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're like, how many shifts on or how many hours on and how many off and stuff like that? I mean, what's it like?
Yeah. So when I tell people what the schedule is, they, it comes off as complicated, but it's not. So it's just so the shifts are 24 hours. They're always 24 hours long. We start at 7 a.m. and then we work all day and all night, and our relief comes in at 7 a.m. the next day. So I went in at 7 a.m. I got there at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning yesterday, and then my relief was there at 7 a.m. this morning. So that's a day. We'll call that a day. And we work every other day for 5 days, and then we get a 4-day weekend.
Okay.
So this week it works out. I work Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then I'll have off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Nice.
Then I'll work Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, have off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, but it's you aren't like the quote factory worker who goes in at 7 o'clock on Monday morning and is off at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon.
Right.
And they always have, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. You have a rotating thing all the time, but it's always 4 days. It's 4 days off after you've done your shifts.
Yeah, after
Is
you've
that
done
right?
your 5-day week, basically. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, not being home at night can be difficult, especially with the kids and stuff. It wasn't that big a deal before, but yeah, you're there, you're committed there for 24 hours, whatever happens. And I mean, of course, you can always leave for family emergencies and stuff like that, but anything else, you're committed to being there.
I talked with your mom down at the 1855 Coffee House couple weeks ago, and that's how we connected.
Mm-hmm.
And she said something that was interesting, and I don't know if you want to comment on this or say no comment, but it was something about how firefighting has gotten more dangerous now, not so much because of firefighting, but maybe crime. Is that true or what? I mean, not that she was, but I don't know exactly what she meant by that. Do you know?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, the fires have gotten worse, I think, over time. I mean, I can only speak for the last, 10 years, but I think, the fires have gotten worse or more dangerous. You think, we always call it, what's under your kitchen sink type of thing. You think if you went down there, what's under, you have bleach, all these kinds of cleaners and things like this. This couch is made of basically a solid form of gasoline, plastic. Same with, carpet and things like that. Fires burn hotter and they burn faster. Building materials have gotten much, instead of using actual 2x4s, we now use what we call 2x4s, but a smaller board, laminate. Everything's designed to burn hotter and faster.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Everything seems
That's
to,
comforting.
yeah, things hold together until they don't, and it happens in an instant type of thing.
I see.
As far as crime goes, yeah, I mean, I think it just kind of goes in waves. And I think a lot more is relied upon us for the crimes, the shootings, the stabbings and things like that, that we have to go to. Yeah, we do the best to keep ourselves safe, but ultimately if you got to get in there and get someone out, then you do what you got to do type of thing.
Yeah. Every job has kind of a glamorous side, especially those like firefighting. What's the difficult side of it? The not being home at night? Is that the worst part of it, or is it the actual physical drain and the emotional drain of having to go places like that? What's the dark side of it, if there is one?
There's definitely a dark side of it. I think it's the stress, which comes from a lot of things, comes from the calls, comes from the lack of sleep, comes from, the stress that's just put on you to, everyone expects you to be perfect every hour of every day type of thing. And I always joke with this when people that do work for me around the house where they're pouring concrete or do whatever. And I always say, if I have to go to work and be perfect, then I expect you to be perfect too, type of thing. But yeah, you see, a side of reality that, no one else really gets to see. You get to see, in simple terms, the worst side of humanity. You see how people live, and, you come home and you can't just tell people what you saw or what you did, because A, they wouldn't believe you, and B, you just kind of want to bury it and not even talk about it type of thing. But I think the stress from just seeing the other side of how people live and act and interact and treat each other is definitely what wears on you the most. And then couple that with not going to sleep at night. And then, coming home and having to turn it all off.
In
an instant, and that's probably the most difficult thing is, when people say, how was your day, or, tell me what the calls you went on. It's like, well, I don't want to tell you. Like, I know it's over. It's done.
Don't want to relive it.
Yeah. And that's why I always kind of tell people, my neighbor, the new neighbors that live next to me, like, oh, it's so nice living next to a firefighter. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's great. But 7 a.m. when I'm done, I'm done. Not that I won't help you if something happens, but I turn it off.
You don't want to talk about firefighting the
no,
whole time.
No, I don't. Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it for, for you guys or whatever. But yeah, when I come home, I'm just me. I kind of leave work at work. And that is, the nice thing, to be able to leave work at work, not to think about it when you come home. So
yeah, don't you probably need that in one sense? Doing that high risk, high stress, you can't.
I'm sure your family appreciates it too, in a sense that you're not.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed. I mean, I'm sure it's overwhelming, but just to come home and it's like.
And that's why you want to turn it off. Like, I don't want to. Now I can just be dad or be husband or whatever, and just turn it all off. But yeah, the stress, I think the number one killer of firefighters is heart disease. And, probably the same for most of, the country. But, you think about how taxing it is. You see most, firefighter, we can retire at 53 right now if you had 25 years of service, but a 53-year-old firefighter looks like they're about, 112.
Yeah.
Because
what they put themselves through, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, maybe if we could ask you, maybe we could take just a short break here, and we could ask you to stay just a few more minutes, because what I'd like to ask is, what do you do when you come home to relax with
how do you
Wesley,
decompress?
How do you decompress and some things like that? Maybe we could take a little break, and then we usually like to play a little game with people.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do.
What is it called again?
Would you rather?
Would you rather?
All right.
Do you mind?
I'm down for it.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back.
Let me just. That's okay. We're not going to go over 30 minutes now. And maybe there's something you have, Jameson, that we missed. As far as
Something you wanted to add?
Yeah, maybe you can just say we're back with Jameson Duhr, and then I can ask him that question.
All right, we're back with Jameson Duhr. How was that?
I'm still here.
We're really casual today.
Yeah.
So I just asked that question. So maybe there's something we missed. Maybe there's something you wanted to, some interesting thing that we didn't have a good question for. Anything?
No, I thought you guys did a good job. Not a whole lot that I can think. I mean, we could talk about on the fire, like a typical day. I don't know if that's something.
Let's do that. Let's talk about that, and then maybe you can tell us.
We didn't really say anything about that, right?
Yeah, do that, and then let's talk about just what you do to decompress. I mean, you work out, stuff like that, but maybe
I was talking about a typical day at the firehouse, but we can do a typical day at home.
That's what I mean. Do both, please. Yeah, like what is it like? Like when you get there, 7 o'clock in the morning. Obviously, you don't jump on a truck right away. Maybe sometimes you maybe do, but probably
probably
not.
more often than you'd think.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
Huh.
That's probably a rush.
Well, because everything's so. Yeah, we'll still start. So I usually get there. The fire service, they have this saying where if you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late, type of thing. So shift starts at 7 a.m. Everyone should be there about 6:30, 6:20 or so. 6:15 is when I get there. Just because it's nice when those guys have been up all night long. I can get there, and when those calls come in between 6:15 and 7, I'll just take them for them, and they do
Yeah.
the same for me type
Yeah.
of thing. So the first thing we do is we check out. So I'm assigned to an engine. There's engines and there's trucks or ladder trucks. The engines have the water, and the ladder trucks are the ones with the big ladders on top. On the north side, right across from the Mallards Stadium, if you know whereabouts we're at. And the first thing you do is check out the rigs. So we have medical equipment on the engine as well, just in case it's not an ambulance in service. We make sure all that's in check. Make sure the hoses are there. There's water on the rig. All the tools are where they're supposed to be.
Okay.
And then 7 we clean. People are probably surprised. You have a station with 5, 10, 15 people, and it's probably one of the cleanest places you've ever been before in your life because the toilets get scrubbed every day, the floors get mopped twice a day. So we do a real good job of cleaning. 7:30 a.m. we have what's called briefing. We use Zoom now. Actually, the entire city. There's 14 stations in the city, and then chiefs get on, and we just have it's mostly just them talking. We don't really say anything. Just the daily events. If there's anything big going on in town, road construction, announcements like that. 7:30, 8 o'clock, we pool our money and go to the store because we got to eat. We're there for 24 hours, so we shop and eat. So we go to Pick and Save, buy our food for the day. Usually the most senior firefighter is one that'll cook 2 meals, lunch and dinner. And then I'm going to kind of skip around here, but we'll eat lunch 11 o'clock or noon, and then dinner at about 5 or so. So in between there, in a 24-hour shift, a busy day would be, pushing 20 calls. A slow day would be 7, 8 calls maybe on a slow day. So in between all that stuff, you're running emergency call, what you're there to do, right? But I think what a lot of people don't realize is we have thousands of every business in the city of Madison has to be inspected by the fire department. Make sure your extinguishers are there, your exit lights are lit, exits aren't blocked, electrical panels aren't. You don't have combustibles around them type of thing. So we do thousands of inspections per year. PR events. We go to grade schools and do fire drills. We've even done read books to kindergartners or younger kids. The first day of the Madison Metro School, which was a couple weeks ago, we went to as many schools as we possibly could to welcome the kids back. And then training. So there'll be either just company trainings, in the firehouse itself, or the city will put on like multi-company trainings where you'll go to buildings and pull hose or do whatever. So that, takes up most of the day, and then we'll eat. And then after 5, 6 o'clock at night, it's kind of your time to do whatever you want. You want to, finish reports or watch a movie or work out or whatever it is you want to do. But obviously, you're still there running calls until 7 a.m. the next day. So like last night, for an example, we had a slow day. I think we probably only ran 3 or 4 calls between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. And then we probably did, 7 or 8 more between then and shift change. So it was about a 3:30 a.m. bedtime this morning.
Do you get to you get to sleep at the place if there's no calls going on?
Yeah, so we each have our own bunk, I guess you'd call it. It's just like they're all different. Some firehouses have like actual separate rooms. Some are just curtained off like they are where I work. But you have your own bed and a desk and a locker. Okay, basically, kind of like a dorm, I guess you could say.
Have you gotten more used to it, or is it still like really tough to like lay down and be like, all right, I've got to sleep, and just hope that, you don't get a call in 15 minutes or whatever it is. I know you can't do anything about that, but.
Right. No, I've gotten more used to it, but you never like get used to it. Sure. I mean, I can be extremely drag myself out of that bed to go on a call, doing the head bob on the way there type of thing, and then get back and you can't fall asleep because you're just overtired. And so like when a call comes in, there's like an automated voice that comes on and this red light that flashes, and you just kind of like stare at that light, waiting for it to light up for the next one type of thing. And then all of a sudden you blink and my alarm's going off because it's 6:30 in the morning or whatever. So then time to come home and take care of the kid and everything else around the house. So as far as going home and decompressing, going to the gym is what I used to do. That was my decompression. The more I have a kid, it's fun watching. He's always up with, he's 0 to 100 at 5:30 a.m.
Chewing on your phone. And
chewing on my phone. That's what I was telling these guys. I can only talk on speakerphone now because my kid ate the ear speaker out of my phone.
That's really good.
Yeah, and I'd take it to get it fixed, but I'm like, what's the point? screens cracked. Yes, people always say the kids are expensive, and they're not expensive because of what they need. They're expensive because of what you have that they destroy.
That's good.
Drills and tools and all this stuff.
Yeah, and it's just starting.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know.
How old is he now?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember doing the same thing with all my dad. I always wanted, my dad never had nice things, never had nice tools, never had anything nice.
Yeah.
So it didn't really make sense, because he did well for himself, and now I get it.
Yeah.
Because I would just destroy everything.
Exactly.
I would take the deck off the lawnmower and use it as a go-kart type of thing. I was thinking about all the stuff that I did and that I have to look forward to coming home for, because who knows what he is going to be able to do in a 24-hour period if I'm not there.
Yeah. And if you warn him, don't do that, then maybe he won't do that, but he'll figure out something else.
Well, I'll just put it in his head. Okay, now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. So you chase him around.
And
you don't even have to work out anymore because you're just chasing him out. And
that is a workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm exhausted at the end of the day.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And summers are great because, you can go to the park, go to the swimming pool, things like that, run around the yard. This will be like the first winter because he basically just crawled all last winter. I mean, I guess he could kind of walk, but he never really knew what it was like to be outside until this summer.
Mm-hmm.
So this winter will be, I don't know what's going to happen. Figure it out. I guess everyone else figured it out. I can probably figure it out.
Well, there's one thing nice about having a child that and busy and a wife is you can, they probably occupy enough of your mind that when you leave the fire station, you have something else,
Oh, for
it's not
sure.
like you're a single guy and now it's like, what am I going to do? But it's, you've got responsibilities and that's
it's like the distraction's already there.
Yeah.
It's in place. So you don't have to find something to distract you. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I enjoy just being outside, taking care of the yard and putzing around the house and building things. So that's kind of how I turn it on, turn it off.
Yeah.
Now, did you say what does Vanessa do?
She's a NICU nurse, so a neonatal nurse at
Okay.
St. Mary's
I
downtown
wondered
Madison.
about
Yeah.
that if she was a nurse. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. At St. Mary's. So that's where she always wanted to be.
Got a helping family.
Yeah. I'd like to think so anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
For when we, us guys sitting around all the time, talking into the microphone need help.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just go to the doers.
Well,
Yeah.
let's play just for a minute or two here. Would you rather? We'll just do one.
No. Okay.
Is that all right with
That's
you?
fine.
Okay.
Fine, whatever.
All right. Now, maybe, I don't know if you're a health nut. I don't mean that in a mean way. I don't know if I know you work out.
Is this,
stuff like
is
that.
this part of it? Or you're just
Yeah,
asking me?
like
No, I'm talking
Yeah.
about,
Oh.
you'll know when I ask this question if do you just eat salad? Is that what you eat?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean,
Okay.
that's kind of why I work out, run around. Because I don't eat junk
No,
food.
yeah.
But if I want to eat a cheeseburger, then I'm going to eat a
Yeah.
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Of
Okay.
course.
I
So-
only get to live once. So
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
would you-
spend it eating grass. And,
So would you rather have unlimited pizza for life or unlimited tacos for life? If you had
Pizza.
to choose.
That's easy.
No problem.
And not that I don't like tacos or Mexican food in general, but yeah, that's easy. Pizza.
But
Yeah.
any particular pizza, or do you just like, hey, I mean, obviously there's different levels of pizza, but I like pizza, so I'll eat kind of whatever's put in front of me.
That's the great thing about pizza is like you can have, a thin crust pizza and it's pizza. You can have, some deep dish Chicago style or
Yeah.
Detroit style. And
Yeah.
it's all, we all call it pizza, but it's so different.
Yeah, right.
Where I
Lots
just
of
feel
different
like
things.
someone will disagree, but I feel like a taco is just a taco. Like it's
Yeah.
always basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as taco or pizza tacos. There's taco pizza.
That's true.
So
That's
you
true.
can have tacos on your pizza.
Yeah.
So you can still technically cheat with
Yeah.
that. And that's,
Yeah.
I agree now. I mean, tacos are very good, but
Yeah. I'm not saying that.
no, I'm not.
That was an easy
I'm a
one.
pizza. Yeah. Because there's so many types of pizza.
Yeah.
So many types.
Somebody else is going to disagree about this too, but like you'll see those Taco Bell commercials and they'll make these delicious looking things and then you go eat those. Where pizza most of the time, it's maybe it's not quite as good as they show on the commercials, but it's pretty
You're
close.
taking
It's
one
pretty
taco
good.
place, a fast food taco place. There's so many real, like, genuine.
I'll tell you something interesting. This is honest truth. I've never had Taco Bell.
Really?
It started, because I think just growing up, my mom was, a fitness instructor. So I always ate healthy growing up and stuff. Well, relatively healthy, and there's no taco. Where was I going to go to get Taco Bell growing up?
They used to have one at the BP in Black Earth.
It was
Oh,
just
really?
a drive-through. Yeah, it was quite a few years
that's where we
ago.
went.
But yeah,
So I was like 20 or something like that, and 21, 22, and I had moved to Kenosha to be a firefighter there, and I said that to someone, and they're like, "There's no way." So then it just became like this game where I'm just not going to eat Taco Bell. Yeah, so I made it 30 years without Taco Bell.
you've never had Taco Bell?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if that's such a bad thing.
No.
Yeah, I
it's,
mean, I
it's
hear-
fine. It's not bad, but it's
I don't
not.
know.
It's like it'd be like
You know how many
McDonald's
memes there
for-
are about Taco Bell
Oh
on the
yes,
internet?
I know what you're saying, and those are all true.
Yeah.
So you're not
it's like,
missing
why-
out on that.
They're like, you got to try it. Like, why? I don't.
Yeah. It's like it would be kind of like McDonald's for taco fast food. Like there's definitely better out there,
Yeah.
but it's fast food still. So McDonald's is fine. We'll have McDonald's from time to time, but
I like McDonald's.
yeah.
I can't beat McDonald's fries.
No, those are the
That's
best.
That's why I like Gordon's, because I think wherever McDonald's gets their fries, Gordon's gets them.
They
from,
must.
too.
Yeah, they're pretty
like
close,
exactly
aren't
the
they? Or
same.
they're the same. Yeah.
That's what I like is the shoestring style.
You know
or
what the
whatever
worst
it is.
thing is too? Is when
Fries?
you go to McDonald's, you go like 3 times a year,
Mhm.
and they don't have their fries salted. Like
Oh,
I go there for their fries to McDonald's,
yeah.
and if they're not salted right, it's like I'm
Yeah,
not
and it's
happy.
just eating like a raw potato. Like potatoes, I feel like don't even have flavor. So when you eat those fries, you're just eating salt and
Yeah.
grease flavored.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the whole point.
So that's why it's like it's
The
like
potato's just like the carrier.
yeah,
basically.
it absorbs it really well.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with that.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking with you, getting to know you a little bit better.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you guys.
we've seen you down at Mix It Up, and yeah, let's go ahead and say
Dad
it.
would talk about how he watches Jameson work out. And I'm like, you don't want to say that. That's
It
weird.
was like an honest mistake, and then
was.
it became a
He's not-
joke.
yeah,
It's
but-
like I'm working out, quote, working out on the treadmill, just running really slow, and you're actually working out. So I'm saying I'm working out with Jameson, but really he's working out, and I'm watching him work out, and
Yeah.
they thought that was weird. So.
I got a question. How many miles you put on a day?
Yes, that's a good
A
question.
day?
And hang before you answer that question, I always make this joke with my family, and I'll say it to your face because whatever. I see you walk with your wife in the morning.
Yep.
And you walk with your wife or one of the boys at least at night or in the afternoons or whatever.
Yep.
And when you come to the gym,
Yep.
you walk on the treadmill.
How much food do I eat to keep
No,
this
no,
weight
no.
up?
I'm just saying, why do you come to the gym to walk on the treadmill?
Oh, I don't like to run anymore on the pavement.
Oh, so-
It hurts
okay.
my knees. It seems like it's a little bit softer, more even,
Bouncier.
bouncier thing on
That's
the
probably a good
treadmill.
point. Yeah.
And
Easier
and
on
I
the
don't want,
shins.
yeah, and I don't want to drive out to the track and run around a track. I don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
that. So, and then I can watch, a podcast, and I don't want to watch the original Father Son voiceover podcast,
Yeah.
just so you know. But I watch other podcasts or
Watch
watch
me.
sports things or watch watch you work out. I miss you not working.
Yeah, I know.
He hasn't been the
His
same.
face is red.
Well, it's amazing because I don't like to run either. Like unless I'm doing basketball, flag football, baseball, and you go and you run, and you're 62, and I'm 26. I don't any part of that.
People
I don't want any
would
part of
question
what he
whether
does.
I'm running
Amazing.
though, because it's
Yeah, but
it's
it's still amazing.
It's 4.5-5 miles, but
I'm not a big runner either. I lift, I like the weights and I like the bike, hike, things like that. But running hurts. I don't know if it's wrong shoe. Everyone's got an excuse, wrong shoes or
Yeah.
shin splints. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't need to run in
Yeah.
my life.
yeah.
Like,
no,
what for?
yeah.
If I got to get away from something, I feel like I can run fast enough to get away from it. But I'm not just gonna like go for a run because
Well, and if it is faster than you, then it's like, well, I guess it's
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah, I guess
What was
so.
I going to train for?
right, yeah.
Well,
So I was
that's
gonna
one-
hang out with people that are slower than you.
Exactly.
It's nice to have a child, a son, because he'll pace you, and then as he gets older, then he'll push you. You'll be able to chase him a little bit too.
And that's all he does is run. I don't think he ever walked. Actually, I think he just took off running.
Straight to running.
Crawling,
Yeah.
Crawling and
yeah.
then running.
Basically, yeah. I mean, he doesn't run good, but yeah.
He's a year and a half.
Well, I know. That's what my dad said. He runs really weird. My dad said he better grow out of that. I was like, Dad, it's a year and a half year old. I'm
Starting
sure it'll
early.
be fine.
So, thank you for coming over. If you'll be willing to take our little prize coupon and take something off of the table. You can take something for you can take something for Wesley, or you can just take something for yourself. He probably shouldn't take any sugar if he's a runner.
I feel like he's got enough stuff, so I could just take something for myself.
There you go.
I
and
like
then
that.
or take
That's
two things, because remember, Dick,
Yeah.
your grandpa, Jim, Sharon.
He's gonna
remember,
he's gonna
these-
go home right after this and message him on Facebook.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
he doesn't have Facebook, so that's
Well, I've looked at my phone. I'm sure I've got text messages from my grandparents right now asking me to wash their windows or put up Christmas lights or
He's
something.
looking for something.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll give you this coupon.
this is
There
something
you
my
go.
dad
And
did.
then
Thank you.
So-
We will. You can pick out a couple of things for your extra time here and for the bribe, and then we'll get a picture with you. So thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
James.
guys. Thanks for having me. I'll come back anytime.
Okay.
Local guests of the original Father Son voiceover podcast get a coupon towards the FSVP prize table and your choice of a valuable take home gift. Congratulations and thanks for being a guest on the original Father Son voiceover podcast.
But you wouldn't be. You wouldn't feel so much pressure because you wouldn't know what you're doing.
That's exactly
That's
right.
You'd just be ignorant. You're not ignorant.
And that's encouraging.
When you're no account, you appreciate it when somebody's not to you.
Now, you're not no account, Ernest T. You're not no account. You're just ignorant.
Now you can't be looking at Delaware because see I'm not going to be looking here.
Dad, I'm just here to listen. I'm not here to. I'm here to type in when people tell me to.
Okay.
I've got my role. I'm
This
doing
is
it.
where you'll probably really
We'll
burn your
need you big
fingers
time.
off.
Yeah, we'll need you big time.
Yep.
And
All right,
quick,
well-
too.
Well, thank you,
There'll be
Jamie.
some things that I decide not to do.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe, for that silky segue. Thank you, Jameson, for taking the time to come on. We know you're busy with your son and your family and your work, so we appreciate it. And he said he'd be on any time again. We wanted him. So
Nice.
we had a good time with Jameson.
Let's have him next week.
Let's do it.
And,
Two in a row.
and he didn't take any food
No.
products from the table, but he took two RVR services things. He took one of those little handy measuring things. He said, he picked it up and he said, this is the greatest thing. Where did you get this? And I said, RVR. That's where he told the story about
Yes.
Ryan
We're not
doing his
recording
house.
anymore.
Yep.
What
and
a
then
small
he
world.
did a chip thing there.
Chip
Yep,
clip.
chip clip.
And he took a shirt. Did you say
That's
that?
right. Yeah, he took an RVR
We
services.
gave him 3 things because he was going to do some head
bribing
hunting for us.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep, bribing.
And then I think Ryan said that he would give us more
Yeah.
clothing. So the next time that Ryan comes by and gives you a price for something, it may be adjusted because he keeps giving away stuff and that costs something.
Better just say,
just gotta pass it on to somebody.
The consumer will feel that. You can thank us.
Well, welcome back to the 27th episode. It is time for
The state
Take
of
it away,
Delaware.
Ernie. State of
The
Delaware.
state of Delaware.
okay.
Yeah, and we're doing that. I got
Is he? Okay.
several state, like what we've done before: flower, bird, tree, motto, animal, nickname. Then we got some facts, and then we've got some
Let's do it.
weird laws.
Okay.
I'm just setting it up, getting ready for you. So that
Give
when
it
we
an
go
overview.
through the-
Appreciate that.
Yeah, so that when I go through the
people-
slideshow, you know exactly what's coming next.
Yep.
Okay.
The fun holidays we have as well,
Nice.
which I feel like is
Looking
always
forward to it.
in high demand. Okay, state flower of Delaware is the peach blossom. I'm sure Demond will be able to
Here.
get a picture there. State bird is the Delaware blue hen. It is one of 3 United States birds that is not a species native to the United States.
So it was brought over by
Correct.
somebody.
That is correct. I don't know from where, but maybe Joe could find that out.
Is Delaware
The Blue Hen.
University the Blue Hens, or is it?
I think they
Delaware's?
are.
Okay.
I think they are.
Ah, that's putting things together.
Wow, Johnny.
That is starting to connect all the dots for me now.
Digging deeper.
Feeling good
I didn't
there.
know that that's what their name was.
Yep,
Are they Division One?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
play
know
towns
everything,
anyway.
but yeah, for sure, at least,
Yep.
or at least that, or at least some major sports. I think
That's tough
Three
when you
sports,
got
I
a name
guess.
like Blue Hens.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't seem. That's not like the Tigers.
Like, remember this in the not to get too far off, but in Michigan, the Zealand Chicks.
Chicks. Yeah,
That's a rough name to run
they,
out to.
They raise chickens out there a lot.
Yeah.
That's not very.
What
it's not
about
very
It's not very
farmers?
intimidating.
something
raise
like that
those
or
chickens?
anything? Yeah.
Well, and it says that their temperament is flightish and skittish.
No,
So
tough.
yeah, you don't really want that as a sports team.
The football team comes marching out and they're
They
skittish
just
and
run away.
flightish.
Yeah, that's not good. The state tree is the American holly. Is regarded as one of Delaware's most important forest trees, often called Christmas holly or evergreen holly.
Okay.
The tree has dark, thorny leaved foliage and red berries. So if you called it a Christmas holly or an evergreen holly, you'd be correct.
Have a holly jolly Christmas right there.
Is it foliage or foliage?
I don't know.
Foliage?
Foliage. Foliage.
Or is it foliage?
Foliage.
I think people slur it maybe sometimes.
Foliage.
Foliage.
Maybe it's from maybe different parts of
Foliage.
the United States.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
sure.
I don't
maybe
know.
somebody calls it maybe a Youper calls it the foliage, and then somebody else somewhere else calls it foliage. Although I said both of those like a Youper.
Yeah.
Foliage.
Yeah,
and,
you're not
and
far
foliage.
from being a
It feels like both of them were. Yeah.
Whoops.
The state motto is liberty and independence. I didn't see any Latin.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Sure,
always,
sure there is.
I think those two words they fit in any language, liberty and independence.
There's probably a word, you're right, in every language.
They don't need to be translated. I think they.
You just know.
Just in
it.
every language, it's liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So in French,
Never thought of that.
that's interesting. Yeah.
It's liberté.
Did you find anything,
I don't know what it is.
Joe?
On the Blue Hens.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't anything that was. I
I
was
feel like
on.
he's not looking.
No, I was on it. You can check my history.
Next, you might want to look up what the French word for liberty is,
Yeah.
because it's not liberty.
Libertat? Nope.
All right. State animal. Let's stay on track. The gray fox.
Okay.
It is a swift and powerful animal, but very small. Swift and powerful animal capable of running up to 28 miles per hour. And the only member of the canid family, which is able to climb trees.
Wow. Joe's got something to prove me
Yeah.
wrong. I can tell on
He's
his
got a
face.
smirk.
LIBERTE.
Yeah. So
With
it's not
Liberté.
with an-
liberté.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
You'd never be able to tell what that word is if you were speaking French. They'd say
Joe
liberté,
didn't-
and you'd
Joe
say,
didn't
I have
know
no way
that.
of connecting that to liberty.
Yeah.
Joe didn't know that.
But, yeah.
How about freedom?
No, it's independence.
Independence.
Same. Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
The state nickname is the first state. Delaware is known by this nickname due to the fact that on December 7th, 1787, it
He's right.
See,
What is it, Joe?
It's also well, it's INDE with a accent mark.
That's why.
PENDANCE. Independence.
Huh. Well, you were right
probably
then,
not pronounced
Joe.
that way,
No.
but
On the
Are you sure-
podcast,
Are
I'm
you
saying
sure
Joe
you're
was
doing
right.
Google Translate right, or did you just put English to English?
He's got that Joe look on his
I
face.
think
Well,
he's right.
I've gone on
I
record
don't
as
wanna
saying
hear
Joe
it.
has the
let's
highest
not-
IQ in the
Well,
the
that
That might
family.
not
and-
be very high in this family.
well,
but it's the highest.
People argued about that, but then look at that. I mean,
I'm
he's
not going
just
to say
proven
a
it
thing.
left
My
and right.
nickname's Meathead, so
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
he's used to it by
to it.
now.
State nickname. I'll go back over that because I don't think anybody was listening. Our listeners were, not the people in the podcast though. The first state. Delaware is known by this nickname due to the fact that on December 7th, 1787, it became the first of the 13 original states to ratify the United States Constitution, U.S. Constitution.
Wow.
What's the nickname?
The first state.
Did you say that
I did. I did.
That's not a very good name for it. That's almost like naming like the best hockey player ever, the great one.
The great
come
one,
on,
yeah.
let's not
It's
be
a little
too
cliche.
At
He's
10 years old?
That's it's an inside joke.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So after we've kind of cruised through some of that, now we've got some fun facts.
Okay.
Delaware is the second smallest state with a land area of 1,948 square miles.
Wow.
Boom.
What is the
Smallest.
First? You guess.
Rhode Island, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rhode Island.
Yes. It is Rhode Island. It is Rhode Island.
That's what I was going to say.
Were you gonna say that?
Donnie,
Were you
that's
gonna
for
say
you.
like Texas or something?
All right. Delaware is the least populated state in America, so Rhode Island has more people. Delaware does not. With an average altitude of 60 feet above sea level, Delaware is the lowest state. It's not the lowest class state. We're not saying that, but
okay. So their
Elevation.
sea level
Yep.
is lower than New Orleans,
Louisiana, New Orleans.
With an average.
Average.
Oh, average.
okay.
So
okay.
it's Louisiana has high
We'll get to that.
areas as well.
Okay.
95 miles long and between 9 and 35 miles wide. Delaware's highest point is near the Pennsylvania line and only 442 feet above sea level.
Wow,
that's why.
impressive. I
Yeah.
would never have got.
So there's other
Guess that.
states that have areas that are below sea level.
Yeah,
But
they have
they're
lower
considered the
points
lowest state technically
on
because
average.
on average
Yeah.
they're low.
They're not too high, and they're not too.
Well, they are too low.
I'm just saying they're not too high and they're not too low. They're just even
Oh, okay.
because they stay at close to the same level because they're the lowest.
Got it.
I feel like that
Why
whole,
is that?
I feel like that whole,
That was
Why
great.
does that?
I feel like that whole spiel that you just went on just contradicted yourself right at the end. We'll rewatch it.
It's,
and you'll
by
know.
average, it's the
understand.
lowest.
Let's watch this next podcast and react to that.
Yeah, that one comment.
Just look at me. Whatever.
Well, 4 out of 5. So
What's
There-
the 4 out of 5 mean? Oh, you looking at you.
there are more corporate entities formed in Delaware than residents. It's a very tax-friendly state. So neighboring states know Delaware as the home of tax-free shopping. And it is
Must be
one of
nice.
only 5 states without sales tax. Other states would include Alaska, Oregon, Montana,
Tough. Well, you choked up
Montana,
about
and
this.
New
Drew.
Hampshire.
Montana's very close to you.
Yeah,
Very close.
very close. Yeah. I got several more.
Well,
This-
do it.
I brought,
Hit us with your best
brought a
track.
lot of
Fire
material
away.
here for Delaware.
Just so you guys know, I've been looking up
Different words.
different words that Drew's been saying, and they're the French. I think we
Do you
either
know-
stole stuff
yes,
from the
exactly.
French or whatever, but it's basically just word for word.
Whose language is closer? Probably just the British, right?
I was gonna say I don't think
Yeah,
we
probably.
stole anything. We just English
yeah.
is from
French?
Great Britain.
Is that from the
It has Latin roots.
Is it from the same family?
I think we're getting into territory that we don't
of
belong in.
linguistics of language?
I would
Is it
guess
from the
so.
same family tree?
See, I'm not gonna look that up. I'm just gonna guess that that's right.
So, are you a linguistics coach?
Yes.
Coach?
Or a linguistics expert?
Yeah.
Oh my!
I dabble.
Bet you the person that could tell us is Kelly
Yeah, true.
Ehringer Kroon. She's probably studied all that in college. She's really smart. She's a very smart person.
Smarter than all of us, probably.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
With only 3 counties, Delaware has the fewest number of any state. 3.
That'd be pretty sweet. Then you wouldn't have to if you moved to another one, wouldn't it be that difficult? It's like just I don't know. It's not that difficult to learn. There's just 3 of them.
So if you moved, you'd have to learn.
I gotta
if
learn
there's-
this county.
Huh?
Now I gotta learn this county.
Yeah.
I moved.
Like if there was Dane and Iowa and Green County,
Yeah, now
then
you-
you'd have to move and you'd have to say, "Oh, I'm in Green County
Yeah.
now."
Yeah,
But
I
that's
gotta
easy.
learn about this.
I know.
Sure know my counties.
That wouldn't be that difficult.
I
Or like
agree
on a
with
Is
you.
test.
there a spot where
We're on
all
a
three
test.
That would be
counties-
nice.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you there. Name all the counties in Delaware.
They wouldn't even
Name
have
the counties. Look it up.
Okay.
Is
What are the
one Delaware
counties?
County? I'm assuming there's a Delaware County out of 3.
That was the
Delaware
first
County.
option that came up.
What
Counties
else is
in
up in
Delaware.
that area? That would be
There's only 2 others.
These are
Blue
these
Hen
would
County?
actually be. I think they're not gimmies. Newcastle County
Okay.
Kent County,
County of
and
Kent.
Sussex.
Oh, sucks.
So no Delaware.
No
Hey,
Delaware.
you know what? I don't know about you guys, but I like this a lot. Having
I do
A,
too.
another microphone, and B, having fact checker right here.
It's really nice.
Fact master.
Now I'm straight on. I can go to parties and stuff and tell about
Yeah,
how
when you-
the English language
If you
is.
go down to the tap house thing,
And I can just spray some knowledge about liberty and independence and stuff like that.
yeah.
Pursuit of happiness.
Delaware is home to Dover International Speedway, also known as the Monster Mile, which hosts 2 NASCAR races each year. So it must be a mile. Maybe it's a massive mile.
It's a
Maybe
monster.
it's a
Well,
longer
it's not
than a
just
mile.
massive. It's a monster mile.
Yep.
Do they do monster truck races on there?
I don't know.
That would make sense if the monster trucks.
Could drive on there as well. Yeah, I don't know.
Monster Mile. Yeah. Let's check.
Delaware remained in the Union during the Civil War. Governor William Burton is quoted as saying that his state was the first to join the Union by ratifying the Constitution and would be the last to leave it.
Wow.
So he was serious about staying with the Union.
He was loyal.
That's true. Yep. The nation's first scheduled steam railroad began in Newcastle in 1831.
The county or
I think there's I check Newcastle. I bet you there's a town called Newcastle.
I'm sure
No,
there
I'm
is,
sure there
but
is.
they didn't specify.
That's right. They didn't.
Yeah, there's a city in that's in Pennsylvania. No, yep, there's one in Delaware.
Okay, Joe, without
perfect.
looking now. No, don't look. What are the 3? Because
Newcastle, Kent, and Sussex.
okay, good, because
Perfect.
that's easy now.
Yeah.
You could go
Yeah,
there and
good
you
night.
can
You can move.
Good thing Joe
different
knows his
counties.
boundaries. Hope they don't change him before his test.
Yeah. So there was that. The first scheduled steam railroad was that one. The 87-foot Fenwick Island Lighthouse was painted in 1880 for a total cost of $5.
Wow.
Probably did it on Fiverr.
1880.
First Fiverr.
and they got
job.
$4.
Yeah.
Fiverr
Got a
took
bad
$1.
review.
They got
20%.
That's just a voiceover joke.
Yeah, that's
that's
an
the
inside
voice.
joke.
Yeah. Yeah. But can you imagine? I mean, that was probably a lot more. I don't know what the equivalent. Hey, check what the equivalency of $5 would have been in 1880. Man, this is so great.
I bet it was. I bet it was a week's labor. I bet it was $1 a day that you got.
Bet you it was $150 nowadays.
I bet you more than that.
I bet
bet you it was
it was a day's. I bet $1. I bet it was a week's labor or more. A week's wages or more.
I wonder how
Adjusted for
87
inflation.
foot. You think that would just take a week? I don't know.
That's true.
Well, for Greg the painter, it'd probably only take a week.
Greg Rossler, he could do
Yeah.
it. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, in 1800, that's the closest I can get.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Got to hone your
which
skills.
is basically 80 years. That's not that.
No.
It'd be $117.53 today.
There you go. Perfect.
What about 1900 would be less?
You were right.
But
was close.
honestly, we're teasing you,
150.
Joe. But you're really
that's
good at
close
this.
enough.
You're fast.
Yeah.
That's why we
Very
put him
good.
there. He's
Yeah.
good at that stuff.
Yeah.
And from 1900, which would be closer to 1880,
That's what I was
That's
saying.
factual.
it's $176.29.
So you're probably right.
I was
if you
right.
took
I was right in the middle.
You were very
right in
close.
the middle.
How could
We're
that-
close to it.
how
We're
could
good
it-
job.
How could it be more?
obviously the United States dollar got
Stronger.
stronger.
Yeah, true. There's dips in.
Can you imagine? $5 was 176. I could buy a baseball bat with $5 back in the day, and I know.
Yeah,
that
but
it's-
you'd have
I
to
know-
get
I
to
know-
it.
But that's
I'd
what it
have
would
to
be
make
worth.
it.
You have
That's
to make
what
it,
it would
yeah.
be worth to you.
No wonder Babe Ruth was hitting bombs, carving out his own wood bats.
Yeah.
Skilled. Delaware is the only state without any national park system units, such as national parks, seashores, historic sites, battlefields, memorials, or monuments.
Wow.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Delmar, which is a city that is cut in half betwixt both Maryland and Delaware, which I have that fact later on here, but I'll
You're
get
saying
out in
this.
front of it.
You're
and
saying
I'll
that
tell it at the end, too.
Delmar is in Delaware.
So make sure you're talking on the mic.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing that the only reason it's Delmar is because some guy or person forgot they flipped the M and the W. So they were in the Delaware, and then they just hit
Is it
Del
spelled
Mar.
with an ARE?
Meldar?
No.
Del Mar instead of Del.
There's a W.
Delaware.
And there's Delaware, so they just flipped it.
Where'd the A go? Delamar?
But Delaware, Del is for Delaware.
Maybe
and
the dude
Mar
that named
is for Maryland.
Yeah.
Del Mar.
Oh,
I thought you said
I thought you
Del.
had the highest IQ.
No, you said that was a city in.
Delaware, but it's split between Delaware. See,
The city
you
is
this
split.
is not good for you because I don't know if you're paying that close attention to what's going on.
I
here.
had everything right.
No.
Go ahead. Maybe it's French.
yeah, could be.
Don't look
Del
it up.
Mar.
Del Mar is popularized as a little town too big for one state. And here's why. Now, this will help you out with the name.
Because
The community has the distinction of being located partly between Delaware and Maryland. That's why it's Del Mar. They didn't get confused.
I think that's what happened at the start, and then they had to go into Maryland. They said, "Okay, what are we going
Let's
to name?
expand
What are
this
we going to
city."
We have to
name?
cut apart
We've made
of-
a mistake here. We've made a mistake, and so now we're going to need to go down
Change the
and
boundaries.
fix our mistake by making the next person.
So you
next
think
thing
it was supposed to be
Maryland.
Delaware?
But you up the M. The M is switched. The W is turned up. Is
Yeah, they made a mistake
rotated.
there.
Okay. That's tough.
Not me. I
That's
didn't
tough
make a
to
mistake.
follow
They made the
along with.
mistake.
In 1785, Oliver Evans of Newport invented the automatic flour milling machinery that revolutionized the industry. So crushing flour, I guess, probably, right?
Crushing wheat
seeds. Yeah.
Wheat
to make flour.
to make flour.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you can't have toast without starting with bread.
That's exactly right.
And you can't
What was
have
the
flour
name of that
without
dog
starting
again?
with wheat.
You got the order. You got
was the name of the
order right
dog?
there.
Hey, Dad.
Of who did it?
Dad, say
Oliver Evans.
say roast 5 times.
Roast 5 times.
No, say roast 5 times.
Roast, 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 roast.
What do you put in a toaster?
Oh,
I didn't get it.
it's too close.
What do you-
Go. Come on.
Toast.
No, you put bread in a
Bread.
toaster.
Oh,
see, that's
you
a
got
joke.
it.
Say
That's-
silk 5
That did
times.
it. That did it.
No.
How, what?
Say soak 5 times.
Soak.
Silk.
Soak.
What do cows drink?
Milk.
No, water.
Yeah.
Ah,
See how
got
that gets
me.
your mind
Yeah,
going
exactly.
like that.
Mind bender.
You're not young enough for that joke.
Woo.
We all aren't. Fisher's popcorn is a famous coastal caramel corn. Say coastal caramel corn 5 times.
Coastal caramel corn.
That's once.
Coastal caramel corn.
It's twice.
Coastal caramel
You're
corn.
pausing though.
It's hard.
That's why. That's the point.
Coastal caramel corn. Coastal caramel corn.
Yeah, that's the point.
Coastal caramel corn.
There you was. I told you it was hard.
I know. Coastal caramel corn.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It has been
Give
ordered.
the people what they want.
Yeah, it has been ordered from as far away as Vietnam and Indonesia. That's
People
that's
like
a long
that.
way.
Yeah.
Coastal caramel corn. The Maryland-Delaware boundary and the Mason-Dixon line divide Delmar. A double crown stone. Try to say that. A double crown stone marker was erected in 1768 as the southern end of the only north-south portion of the Mason-Dixon line.
Wow.
So it cuts right there in
Right in
Delmar.
there.
Yep.
Amazing.
All right, one last one before we get on to some weird laws here.
Okay.
Horseshoe crabs may be viewed in large numbers up and down the Delaware shore in May. The crabs endure extremes of temperature and salinity. They can also go for a year without eating.
Wow.
Woo!
That's a long time.
It's a skinny crab.
Yep. You gotta get through this, man. We
Yeah,
only have
you
a
do.
few minutes, and I want to hear
Yeah.
all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's some weird laws. Pawnbrokers can't accept your wheelchair or fake leg or arm for payment or pawn. So if you go in there, if you go in there as a handicapped person and say that you paid an arm and a leg, you'd be a liar.
Or a sea captain.
You got a point there.
Yeah, I'd say no, you didn't. Actually, you
You-
did it illegally. You did it
It
illegally.
cost him an arm and a
You
leg.
had that one cooking there
I was
for
ready.
a while.
I was
didn't
ready
you?
for
Yep,
that one.
yep.
Still made me laugh. My own joke. If you go to the beach and want to change because there's sand in your suit, don't do it. Let me try again. If you go to the beach and want to change because there's sand in your suit, don't do it in your car or a public restroom. It's illegal. Got to do somewhere private, I guess.
In the water?
Maybe they got beach houses or something,
Yeah,
and they
I
say
would
we
think.
don't want you changing in restaurants and
In your
other
car,
things like
you can't
that.
get.
Well, it's probably a while.
It's
might be
decent
smart.
exposure, Joe.
Yeah.
You're out of luck if you want to see horse racing on Good Friday or Easter Sunday. It's illegal on both days.
Probably the gambling.
Maybe, or it's
We're-
a Sunday.
we're-
There's
we're the-
Methodists were started there. Methodist Church started
Methodism
there.
did
Yep.
well, maybe in the United States, maybe
Right. They
because
set
they
up
were
there.
they were in England,
Right, long
but
before that.
maybe there were Puritans too that were in that area.
Yep.
Maybe they just said, "Hey, we're not going to do that."
Well,
on
and
the
they've
Sabbath.
dialed it back. They've gotten a little more liberal because horse racing used to be illegal on any Sunday. So they've dialed it
okay,
back a little bit. They
okay.
just don't want Good Friday or Easter Sunday.
Got it.
It's the least they could do.
Yep.
Give them those days.
The only hunting you can do in Delaware on Sundays is fox hunting with dogs.
Nice.
I don't know if people are doing that anymore, but you can. It's illegal to pretend to sleep on a bench on the Rehoboth. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. It's on the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk. So they can't
Can't do
pretend
it.
to sleep.
You gotta really do it.
Why?
You gotta truly
Let's
sleep.
see.
How do you?
Why?
Because
I don't
other
know.
people might want
Would
to sit
that
on there.
be?
If you're
Oh,
not.
taking up space.
Yeah.
I
Maybe.
see. So if you're
We don't know.
sleeping, then you're doing something.
What do they
that-
call it? What do they call it if you can't get to sleep? On one of those
Insomnia.
things.
I think you're trying to sleep, not trying to pretend to sleep.
There's a big difference.
Well, but how's that going to work if like a cop comes up and says, "Hey,
Hey, you're not trying to sleep.
That's what
yes, I
mean.
am," and then he
it's
says, "No, you're
intent.
not."
You're gonna have to look into
Well,
somebody's
you wouldn't
mind.
want to say
and-
yes, I am. You'd want to pretend that you're sleeping.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
You'd have to
Oh, sorry,
pretend.
I was
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah,
Yep. Boy, that's interesting.
that is interesting. Here's some fun holidays. And this is just unbelievable that we would do fun holidays today.
Huh?
International Podcast Day.
No way.
International
How about
Podcast
that?
Look at
Day.
us.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
we're doing
people
it right.
probably.
Yep. It's also German Sandwich Day.
What do you put on a German
I knew you were going to ask. I got
Sauerkraut.
that for you. Got it for you.
Joe's ready.
Made from breaded pork schnitzel
That
and
sounds scary.
sliced tomato, cucumber, and a bit of lettuce on a bun.
Huh? What's schnitzel?
I think it's pork.
Is it a like
That's a pork, though.
like a oh, what am I trying to say? Like a
We don't know.
salami type thing or
Or
schnitzel?
more
You
like
said
a
it's
brat type thing.
maybe it's a like Wiener
Wiener
schnitzel.
I wonder.
We got to get Frau Springstead here to clear that
She
up.
probably would know
How
right
many
away.
more of those you got?
A couple more.
It's made from breaded pork schnitzel. Yep.
Okay. Boom.
Nailed it. International Translation Day. So if somebody internationally would like to translate our podcast from English
To
to
French.
another
French.
To
It's basically
French,
the
it'd
same
be
thing.
basically the
yeah,
same thing.
you just add an E at the end of everything.
Mm-hmm.
National Chewing Gum Day.
Nice. Good for you.
Chewing gum on the
I got gum.
podcast.
Cal be
That sounds
happy
smart.
about that.
Is that it?
That's it.
Wow.
Hey, I would like to thank Hudson for shaving. He looks so clean cut and young.
Yep.
My beard makes me look really old, doesn't it?
Well, it's that kind of more older. Two, I'd like to thank Hudson for buying the 5th microphone. It has been so pleasant having a microphone. You know, I did radio for 30 years. I was 18 years old when I started. I'm 62 now, and I've had a microphone in front of my face. And there was months there where I sat right here in the middle and felt like
And you didn't skip a beat
well,
because your voice carries and it just grabs on.
yeah.
It just didn't feel right.
It didn't feel right because it wasn't right here. I didn't feel the presence.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for buying that 5th microphone. Thank you, Joe, so much for coming up with that, being at the table. That is going to add something huge. It already has added so much, hasn't it, folks?
Yeah.
And second of all, thanks for the Wisconsin Heights Weekly. John, sorry, am I pointing?
That's all right. I keep turning around and I think I'm going to get poked in the eye.
Thanks, John, for Mazo Sitewise.
Yep.
And
More to come.
Drew, as always, thank you
Yeah,
for
thank
that.
you for
Bob
doing
Wick's
that.
going to love
Yeah.
you.
Bringing the entertainment.
And And that's it. Oh, and RVR Services for reverse sponsoring
thank
our
you.
podcast.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for doing
you.
that.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Ryan.
And one more thank you. Thank you to the listener for watching
On
us.
podcast day, yeah.
Thank you for sticking to the end and watching
And
this.
subscribing.
If you're not subscribed, please, by all means, just do it. It's not
Like
that
it,
hard.
comment.
Like it, comment. Maybe you want to comment what our next taste test. Maybe you like some of the facts that we had or funny
there's
holidays.
Some help that you can give with the site-wise stuff.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
you
that'd be
have.
fun.
Maybe
I
you've
think-
seen some stuff.
I think what you should do is you should have a short video showing them how to subscribe. I think some of those people would enjoy that, knowing how to. Because I don't
All
think
right.
always everybody knows how
Well,
to.
I wouldn't.
Yep.
An old guy.
All right, so thank you. That is our 27th episode. Next week, we will have our 28th. So you will see this on
Glad we're not having our 30th.
what comes after. Anyway, this will come out on Tuesday. So thank you for watching. And this is it from the original Father Son Voiceover Podcast Studios.
Signing off.
Signing off. Did you like that video? Check out more from the original Father Son Voiceover Podcast right over here. Or subscribe to our channel right here.